Welcome back to the channel, to Project Destination Destiny. Now what I want to demonstrate is the design that I've come up with for the solar panel, which is a 400 watt black anodized aluminium frame solar panel. And what I've done is I've been able to design it so that it tilts either 30 degrees to this side or 30 degrees to the other side of the unistrut. And the secret, well, the design to this element are these stays. And it's aluminium 25 by 25 millimeter tubing. One side has got a hole right the way through. The other side has a riv nut on the one side, but also has a hole on the other side so that the threaded bolts that I'm going to show you go right the way through these stays. But what I have here is got 3 of these turnbuckles or knobs from the side sitting on aluminium angle line, and the same on that end there. Now, because of the inlets for the cables on the sides, there's an extractor fan for the shower underneath in the center there. There's the inlet for the solar panel itself underneath here, and to the far side there's a Wi-Fi puck. And because of these ribs that are in the Sprinter roof, you're very limited to how you can have the axle turning, the axle line that comes along here, and the same for that side there. You can't just have it so that it tips up on either side. If it tilts up on the other side, it's going to catch whatever's underneath there. And so that's the reason why you'll see here that these are being channeled. So it allows 25 millimeters, approximately 25 millimeters leeway to move up and down, or side by side really. And so the way I've designed it is that this middle bolt here, this locking knob over here, can be removed, and then simply take whichever side you want to lift up, angled towards the sun. You can lift up and add these stays into here. Now the disadvantage for this whole design, of course, is that you need a ladder, and so you'd have to take a telescopic portable ladder with you to be able to get up onto the roof here. And so that's the only disadvantage of this. Although, having said that, you can see my roof deck right behind me. Getting access to this side is very easy. It's just that the front presents a bit of a challenge because there's nothing really for you to get to, although you could do it from the side door and maybe from the driver's door, reach over. So I'm going to demonstrate to you, for the purpose of this, I've put a ladder on this side and a ladder on that side just to save some time. And all it means is removing whichever bolts it is. So I'll demonstrate it from this side, taking the bolts out, lifting it up on these stays, and then do the same thing on the other side. It's just a case of removing these middle bolts. And they can just be left to the side. They're not needed for the purpose of this demonstration. And I'll do the same for the other side. And what I do is I just loosen the one, unfortunately the panel's got a little bit of flex, so that's quite useful. You can lift it up and then just pop it through the hole again. You just let it rest on. it just rests on the bolt that's sticking through there, ready to be tilted up while I do that side there. It might sound long-winded, but it actually only takes a few minutes to do whichever side you wish to tip up against to the sun. There's riv nuts mounted into the three on each side of the solar panel, and then using these locking bolts, it's just a case of lifting this up and then using the same knob that you've taken from the center. You can now use that one for mounting either side of the stay. So that's how simple it is, really. So all you really want to do here is on the same side of that bracket, you'll be able to do the same thing. So it's just a case of lifting this up. You can do it single-handed. So this now has the top part of the stay threaded through there, using the same riv nut that was used at the bottom. While it was mounted on its frame, I put plastic caps at the end of this. But now, in this case, this bolt now goes from the inside out to then I repeat this process on the other side. Taking the spare one from the middle. This time the bottom one goes the opposite direction. The top one goes right the way through. That's as simple as that. Literally, these two stays, inverting the bolts at the bottom around from the inside, going out through a riv nut, and then bolting up using the spare middle bolts to connect the top parts of it all the way through. So, but because of everything that's mounted in the roof, it has to slide a few millimeters, about 20 to 25 millimeters either side, to avoid everything that's mounted in the roof here. The inlets for the cable, the extractor for the shower, and the puck for the Wi-Fi. So to avoid all those things, you needed about 20 millimeters or so bit of play in the solar panel, in the slots there, just to be able to accommodate all of that. Because of these ridges in here, you're forced to mount the extractor and the puck in those areas there. So I'll demonstrate and just time lapse into doing the other side. So that's how I'm able to tilt this solar panel from side to side using these slotted channels that I have along here. Some riv nuts on these stays, and unfortunately, because of everything, these ribs that are in the middle of the Sprinter van, you're forced to put the shower extractor fan in the center, plus the puck for the Wi-Fi antenna is in between those ridges there. So you're very limited to using the axle of where you can tip these panels. So I needed 20 to 25 millimeters play to be able to slide it back and forth. Otherwise it catches on that very far cable entry point there for the TV, the CCTV camera, and for the floodlight, the spotlights that are on that side. So the same as these aux beams here that are on this side over here. So you'll see that's duplicated on the other side. But because of the entry point is over here, you're limited to the tilting axle, the axis of these panels here. So just to get that in between, being able to move it side by side just a little bit, able to tilt from one side to the other. So not very difficult to do. It's mainly getting the position correct and then cutting these slots in the 50 by 50 angle line. That's the tricky part. And then rib nuts into the side of the solar panel and then lifting it up either side. Very easy to do, but unfortunately, well, I don't know, it's up to everyone. Taking a telescopic or collapsible ladder with you is necessary, although I think it can be done in my instance because of my roof deck. I've got the roof deck over here which I can get up to do this side of the solar panel, and you can relatively easily get to the front, but I think it's just easier to take a small telescopic ladder with you anyway.